is my gun, my posse's the one.
Come on, man, who can toss it better than me? Would you relax? Come on, man, I'm sick of this. Ugh. That's my microphone. Oh, no. Please, no, no.
Vanilla Ice is facing some serious charges tonight. He was arrested in connection with the theft of bicycles, a swimming pool heater, and furniture at a Lantana home.
I feel horrible. Worst day of my life, you know, getting arrested, everything. I mean, shocking. It's like, whoa, you know.
If there's one thing that's crystal clear, it's this. Prince knew his time was almost up just days before he passed. He even dropped a haunting photo online, hiding a secret message inside, right when everyone thought he was just fine. At his last party at Paisley Park, after he supposedly got some medical treatment and just days before it all went down, people say Prince told the crowd, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Chilling, right?
This is a quote that you said in one of your interviews. You said, "At one point in my life, I didn't even know who I was, what my purpose was. I didn't want to live anymore. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, I didn't give a shit about life. Who I am today is a complete flip the script opposite of that, and just super grateful, man, for my family, for my kids. And that's the meaning of life, man, the true meaning of life."
100%. We can go around as a young person in this globe and see life in a different way. And then you know what happens is, I shook this whole globe up, you know, like a snow globe. I shook it up. And you think reality is what you see in front of you, and then the snow globe kind of settles a little bit, and then you find out that none of it was real. It was all artificial. And you find your purpose, you find out who you are. And I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I know Justin Bieber could definitely use some advice.
Yeah.
Lost. Because with all the success, nobody that, especially with what happened to me, 10 times even bigger than Bieber, because, or anybody, because of being me and white and who I am. And at the time, it was something far more impactful, if that makes any sense, for people to hate on or take a punch at or anything, right? So it was a groundbreaking thing that really was, and probably could have killed me in many, many ways. Not just the Suge Knight way but suicidal way, to the point where all my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. And I figured out the biggest value and purpose in life is that it has nothing to do with money or buying all these things.
Just like he warned, Prince was found unresponsive at his Minnesota estate and pronounced dead at 57. Officials claimed it was an accidental fentanyl overdose, saying he took fake Vicodin that was laced with that deadly synthetic drug, but something about that story never added up. Prince was known for his clean lifestyle, no wild partying, no crazy habits. So how could he just overdose like that? And here's the kicker, just days before his death, rumors were flying that Prince was about to drop some major bombshells, exposing the very people he believed were out to get him. Things were getting way too real. So did they get to him first?
Even proposed to me. I mean, things were going so crazy and fast, man. I was just like, what? I thought the guy was supposed to do that. What do you mean? Wait a minute. This is too fast. I'm just getting started here, and I'm way too young for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was crazy. The more I think about it, the more crazy it was.
And what was Prince so desperate to put out there? For starters, he had already begun calling out his label for ripping him off and using him. Prince signed with Warner Music back in 1977 when he was just 18 years old, real young and full of dreams. Even though the albums he dropped between 1978 and 1981 didn't exactly blow up the charts, Warner kept him around. Why? Because having a musical genius like Prince made them look good. Back then, Warner was trying to act like they really cared about nurturing serious talent for the long run. Then came 1982, just 1 year after MTV hit the scene, and Prince switched gears. He dropped new music, broke into the US top 10 for the first time, and showed the world how to use music videos like a boss to build an unstoppable image. He wasn't just making songs, he was crafting a legend. After planting his flag deep into the music game, Prince didn't stop there. He even built his own label to have more control over his work. He was changing the rules right in front of everybody's eyes.
Arsenio Hall show, at first I was a fan, you know.
What you gonna do?
And then I became definitely not a fan of the show, especially after I did the show.
In all fairness to my audience, when you talk about Vanilla Ice, I was mad at Vanilla Ice before the interview started.
Thank you.
have been embroiled in a lot of controversy. The press has been really hard on you lately, saying that you lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about
But
nothing.
I haven't interviewed you, so it's new news for my audience, so let's get into it.
I thought he was a little hard on me. He was venomous.
I've heard stories about me lying about where I came from and everything, and I never lied. Let me just tell you, when the record company creates all this stuff, bios around you, and, you know, they have your own publicists and everything, they create this image, okay? This image. And it's easy to hate on that image because it's a novelty act image, you know? I was kind of thrown into this new kids with snot category, you know?
Prince eventually launched Paisley Park Records, but even that wasn't fully his since it was partly funded by Warner, who also handled all his distribution. And let's be real, we've seen enough shady moves in Hollywood to know that record labels almost never have the artist's true back. Once Prince started demanding more control over his music and career, they didn't just push back. They straight up tried to box him in. It got so ugly that Prince decided to make it loud and clear for the whole world to see. He started showing up in public with the word slave written right on his face. That wasn't just a fashion choice. It was a full-on protest against the way he was being treated. Prince wasn't shy about speaking on it either. In one interview with Paper Mag, he said, "I wanted to buy my masters back from Warner Brothers. They said no way, so I'm going to re-record them, all of them. Now you will have 2 catalogs with pretty much exactly the same music, except mine will be better." Talk about fighting fire with fire. He didn't stop there. Prince made it clear that fans had a choice. You can either give your money to WB, the big company, or to NPG, you choose. He was straight up calling them out. Prince's biggest issue was this. Being signed to Warner meant they owned his name and every track he ever dropped under it. He hated that with a passion. In a move nobody saw coming, he ditched his name completely and changed it to a wild-looking symbol. People started calling him the artist, or the artist formerly known as Prince. It was a giant middle finger to the system that tried to trap him. After Prince finally snatched back some control over his music, he eventually went back to using his real name. But don't get it twisted.
I got stabbed 5 times, got my main artery right here in my leg. I almost died. You only have 8 pints of blood, I lost 4.
Damn.
And it was in my friend's seat for 3 months after, and still didn't even dry up. Like, he had the sponge seat, you know, underneath it, and it was in the seat when he took me to the hospital. My buddy Phil took me to the hospital. It was his fight. It wasn't even my fight. I didn't even know who this guy was. I was his passenger. And he's in the front yard of some dude's house. And he goes up and the dude comes out in his trench coat. And Phil runs like a pussy. Turns into the biggest pussy in the world and runs. And I'm standing there and I'm like, what was that shit? The dude was coming at him and he turns around and ran. Huh. This is my Phil, man, the big dude. And the guy came at me. He goes, "You want some of this, motherfucker?" And I go, "I don't even know who you are. I don't know what this is, bro. What's going on?" And motherfucker just standing there and he's yuck. Next thing I know, I turn around, the dude, he's just a skinny dude, a little guy. And that's why I couldn't understand why Phil ran. I didn't see the knife. He ran because he had a knife. And Phil comes back after the dude's laughing. I beat the dude. He saw me. Phil was 2 houses down in the yard looking at me. I'm fighting this dude. Didn't even know he was stabbing me. And I'm choking him, and I choked him out. Did one of those old UFC moves. I put him on the ground. I just choked him out. I'm punching him in the face. I beat his ass. He was a skinny little dude. He was easy to beat up. I let him go. He's out, and I get up, and he's still on the ground, and he's laughing at me. I'm like, "Why are you laughing, dude? I just beat your." And I go to, I'm exhausted, so I put my hands like this, and my hand slipped off. And I go, "What the f?" And I looked at it, and it was blood everywhere, and you got my main artery here. It was just gushing out, like see out of the movies where just, an artery is main thing. It squirts out. And he got me in my cheek. He stabbed me across here. Got 47 stitches on my hand.
47 stitches.
From here, see it? Right here, all the way down to here. I mean, I got scars. There's the artery right there, dog. Not to show you my untanned leg. I don't wear fucking shorts and shit, but that's where the knife went in right there. And I'll spare you the details of my.
Yeah, we don't need to see
There's
that.
the scar there. Scar stories, man. Nothing to it.
Just because he got his name back didn't mean the fight was over. Even with some control in his hands, Prince was still catching heat from the elites behind the scenes. They were making life so hard for him that it started looking like they wanted him gone for good. Word on the street is, if Prince wasn't going to keep making them big stacks of cash, they were going to make sure he didn't make any money at all. Period. And it gets even darker. According to what's been floating around, the only way they could really silence him was by taking him out. Permanently. And crazy enough, Prince knew it. People close to him said he was fully aware the walls were closing in. He was reportedly just days away from blowing the whistle and dropping the names of the powerful people he said were after him. What's even more heartbreaking, before Prince's sister, Taika Nelson, passed away, she had already spoken out. Taika told folks that Prince warned her straight up he was in trouble just days before he died. That's chilling.
First time I met Suge Knight was at a restaurant in LA called Palm Restaurant. And I was sitting there eating, nice meal, and all of a sudden these huge guys who looked like a football team showed up. You know, it was very intimidating to see these guys. They were bigger than my bodyguards, you know, and a bunch of them. And they pretty much grabbed my bodyguard and pulled him out and sat down next to me right there and started talking to me. How you doing?
Uninvited.
Totally uninvited. I didn't even know him.
See him again?
Sure did. Saw him again a few months later. He did the same thing, just kind of showed up to me, said hi, and then left. I'm still thinking, well, wow, this guy knows where I'm at all times. How does he know where I'm at? You know? What's going on here? I had my bodyguards who had, and they had their people which had, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Talking publicly about it for the first time, Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
Roughed one of my bodyguards up. They roughed everybody else and my whole entourage up. Suge took me out on the balcony, started talking to me personally.
On the balcony?
On the balcony.
High above?
Like 15 floors. He had me look over the edge, show me how high I was up there.
Were you scared?
I needed to wear a diaper on that day. I was very scared.
On the balcony, Van Winkle says Suge Knight told him to sign over points from the song to a man named Mario Lavelle Johnson.
Who is Mario Lavelle Johnson? His name is listed.
That's the guy that Suge Knight brought over there that was an acquaintance of mine that had nothing to do with that song.
You signed over the rights?
Signed over the rights to him so that Suge and them could get paid for it.
So Mario Lavelle Johnson didn't write that song?
No way.
How much were those points worth?
About $4 million, $3 million, anywhere between there. $3 to $4 million.
And you just signed them?
Signed them. And walked away alive.
He says you had a number of men there. You then took him out to the balcony, he says. And you said you're going to sign over the rights. Did you do that?
No, I did not.
It never happened?
Never happened.
You didn't take him out to the balcony?
How that sound?
It sounds like what occurs in other police reports involving you. Again and again, there's a pattern, Mr. Knight, where you do that.
That's not.
Fast forward, a few months ago, Taika's family announced her death in a heartfelt post on her Facebook page. They even quoted lyrics from Prince's song All the Critics Love You in New York as a tribute. The family's statement read, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, author Taika Nelson, Prince's sister, died Monday, November 4th at North Memorial Hospital in Robbinsdale. The pain in that family runs deep. Taika Nelson is survived by her 2 sons, Sir and President, and 5 beautiful grandchildren. In their official statement, the family made sure to honor her memory, calling her the daughter of Maddie and Joe Nelson. They also highlighted how Taika was best known to the world as Prince's sister, and how she worked hard to keep his legacy alive, showing up at fan gatherings and music industry events to rep her brother's name loud and proud. Now, there's been plenty of gossip in the past, with folks saying Prince and Taika weren't all that close, but the truth tells a different story. They were actually tight, real tight. Back in 2018, Taika cleared it all up when she shared that she and Prince were very close growing up. She explained that their parents made it crystal clear to Prince. He had to look out for his little sister no matter what. Wherever Prince went, Taika had to be right there with him. And here's something that shows just how deep their bond ran. Taika revealed that Prince literally helped save her life. When she was fighting a serious battle with substance misuse, it was Prince who stepped up and got her into rehab. That's not just brotherly love, that's a real-life guardian angel move. When Taika needed help, Prince didn't hesitate for a second. He said, "Okay, when and where?" That's the kind of loyalty they had. And when Prince realized the end of the road was getting closer, he didn't leave Taika in the dark. Nope. According to her, Prince spent 2 whole years quietly preparing her for his death. 2 years. While talking to the Minnesota Star-Tribune about stepping away from performing and working on her own memoir, Taika opened up about the very last conversation she had with her brother, just 4 days before he died. She said that during that final talk, Prince kept dodging her questions. Taika said, "I kept getting mad. I felt like, talk to me for 2 seconds. But every time she tried to get serious, Prince would crack a joke, they'd laugh, and then he'd switch the topic like nothing was wrong. She pressed him hard, asking, 'How are you really?' But Prince wouldn't give her any real answers. Taika admitted it bothered her, and Prince knew it bothered her, but he still kept it light, like he didn't want her worrying too much. That silence spoke volumes. At the end of the day, Taika could feel it deep down. She knew something was coming. She knew Prince was about to be taken out. Whether he dropped the real names to her behind closed doors, though, that's something we may never get to find out. Now here's where it gets even crazier. The same dark secrets Prince was trying to expose were the exact same ones Michael Jackson was warning people about too. Yeah, I know, the media always pushed this story like Prince and MJ were beefing heavy, but the truth is, it wasn't like that at all. Behind all the headlines and drama, both of them were actually fighting for the same thing: freedom from the shady forces running the music world. And believe it or not, Prince was deeply affected when Michael passed away. After MJ's shocking death, everyone was dying to hear what Prince had to say. But he stayed silent, no public statement, no big tribute on TV. Still, people close to him said it hit him hard, real hard. And get this, Prince even started sliding Michael's legendary song Don't Stop Till You Get Enough into some of his live performances after MJ was gone. That wasn't just a random move, that was respect.
But how did black artists treat you?
Great. That's where I'm. Listen,
like Tupac or Biggie or those guys.
Oh, good friends of mine. I was friends with Tupac way before he even blew up. When he was with Digital Underground, NWA. I was the opening act. Listen, I was the opening act for the opening act for the opening act for the opener for the opener when we did the Stop the Violence tour with NWA, Stetsa Sonic, EPMD, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I was that kid out there, and they were great friends.
Tavis Smiley, a friend of Prince, spilled even more tea during a 2016 interview with Extra. He shared that when the news broke about Michael Jackson's death, Prince was right in the middle of rehearsals at Paisley Park, and it shook him to his core. These two legends were more connected than anybody ever knew. When the news of Michael Jackson's death hit, Prince didn't just carry on like nothing happened. Not even close. He canceled rehearsals on the spot, sent his whole band home, and locked himself inside his bedroom for days. He didn't come out, didn't talk to hardly anyone. He was crushed. If memory serves right, even Prince's former bodyguards came forward later, saying that Prince and MJ actually kept a private friendship that the media never knew about. Away from the cameras and the gossip, they were real with each other. Apparently, Michael had pulled up to Paisley Park multiple times. No paparazzi, no headlines, just two legends hanging out like regular dudes. They kick back, play games, and just vibe. Not only that, but they even supported each other's music. It's been said that Michael played the final version of his Dangerous album for Prince in his private studio before the album ever dropped, and Prince loved it. That's real respect. Bottom line, MJ and Prince weren't enemies like the media tried to sell it. They were actually good old friends, just chillin', talking, laughing, and doing what they loved. But they kept it low-key because the industry was constantly trying to pit them against each other. The heart of it, both these legends just wanted one thing: control over their music. And sadly, because they both fought back against the machine, it's been said they both ended up dying under some seriously mysterious circumstances way too soon. And before I let it slip my mind, mind, there's another wild twist to Prince's story. When he was deep in his war with Warner, he ended up putting his trust in Jay-Z. Yeah, Prince believed Jay was different, that he actually cared about protecting artists and doing right by them. But sadly, Chivy turned out to be just another snake in the grass. Prince had worked out a deal with Tidal, the streaming service heavily tied to Jay-Z's Rock Nation. It all seemed cool at first, but after Prince passed, everything went sideways fast. In 2016, the people managing Prince's estate gave NPG Records the green light to file a fat copyright lawsuit against Rock Nation. Why? Because Tidal had thrown 15 of Prince's albums up on their platform without the proper rights. The lawsuit made it clear Tidal was only supposed to have a 90-day exclusive license for one newly recorded album, Hit and Run, not a whole library of Prince's classics. According to the lawsuit, what Tidal pulled was straight-up copyright infringement. Now, Tidal tried to defend itself, saying they had permission, both in writing and verbally, to be the first to stream a bunch of Prince's music. But the paperwork told a different story, and the whole situation turned ugly real quick. Even after his death, Prince was still getting dragged into messy battles over the rights to his legacy. But NPD wasn't having it. They straight up said the so-called agreement between Tidal and Prince, and that sketchy equity term sheet, were fabricated and backdated to make it look legit. According to them, Prince definitely made a deal with Tidal for the Hit and Run album, but that was it. NPG insisted there was zero evidence showing that Prince ever agreed to hand over rights to his other work, and definitely no proof he was ever issued any Tidal equity before all the drama exploded. And to make it even worse, Rock Nation reportedly ignored repeated requests to show real paperwork or even proof of any oral deal giving them those rights. Total silence. Now, here's the thing. Nobody really knows for sure if Prince had already figured out Jay-Z was playing dirty before he passed, but the streets have been buzzing with rumors that Prince also had dirt on Diddy. Word is, Prince knew Diddy was all wrapped up with the same shady forces that have been exploiting artists for decades. Sadly, when powerful people start feeling threatened, legends like Prince always seem to end up gone too soon. But you know what? No matter what they tried to take from him, one thing they could never touch was his legacy. That's something they will never own. Even now, Prince's spirit is untouchable. As we remember him, I gotta ask, what do you think about everything Prince was exposing? And those names he was about to drop, who do you think they were? Sound off in the comments below. I want to hear what you think.